Well, we're continuing our coverage, live coverage of the Missouri Valley Conference Men's Basketball Media Day downtown St. Louis. We're at the Enterprise Center. I'm Harry Schrader, and you're watching it on Valley Hoops Inside, you, Twitter, different. We're trying to somehow make a living. Anyway, the head coach, Ryan Pedon, is with us. He's from the Illinois State Redbirds, and appreciate you doing this with us and coming downtown. I know that when you're a basketball coach, it's like, wait, I'm carving out a day to do what? Like, talk about how it interferes a little bit with what you're trying to do.
Yeah, I mean, this is great. It's even more important now than it was 10 or 15 years ago, Harry. And first of all, I want to say thank you for all that you do for the Valley. I think very few, if any, do promote our conference and do the work that you do and make the effort that you do for our league. It helps. It helps. And I think the reality is, in this day and age, we need to lean into that, right? As coaches, as players, as a conference, as leadership. And so coming here, it's different. It's a change of pace, but probably a very healthy change of pace. And coaches are always excited to talk about their team anyways. And there's a lot of anticipation in the air.
Well, you talk about in this day and age, we're talking about the transfer portal, we're talking about the NIL stuff and all of that. There's just so much competition all the time for making sure your guys are happy or helping them get to the right place, all that. It's a different kind of pressure than it used to be.
It is. Yeah. And I think you hit a nerve there when you said, having to keep guys happy, because I think, I hate thinking like that, because you fall prisoner to the circumstances, and then you'll be prisoner to the circumstances. And I try to pour everything, and my staff and I try to pour everything we have into making our young men better people, players, students, and athletes. And if you keep the main thing, it's easier said than done, right? But if you pour into them and you're genuine and authentic with them and you're truthful with them on a day-to-day basis, I think most people will find happiness from being around people like that. So we're trying to create an experience that teaches them how to be winners at an elite level in a really hard league. And I think that's what we're doing here, is we're molding young men and teaching them how to win and ultimately win championships and become better versions of themselves.
I talked to Kendall a couple of weeks ago, and again here this morning, but he talked about the decision to stick around, and he said at the end of the day, it was just really about coach's loyalty, our relationship, those kinds of things.
Sure. Yeah. Kendall and I, since I got here, we've had a real strong connection, and it's been rooted in truth. And we've had difficult conversations. We've had great conversations. I tell him, I said, when you have hard days, we're going to be the first ones there to put our arms around you. When you do great things, we're going to be the first ones there to chest bump you, and again, this is a family thing. I spent time with Kendall's mother and father, without Kendall, in the spring at his house in Atlanta. I never been to his house, and I didn't recruit him here to Illinois State. So it was important to me that I set foot in their house and see his surroundings. And, we love Kendall. I believe in him at a ridiculously high level. I do. And he's my kind of guy. He plays hard. He has a chip on his shoulder. He's got to continue to get better and better as a player, which he has in the off season. And, he's very, very coachable. He's a fine young man and great representative for our basketball program.
We talked about the portal a minute ago, and you ended up, the portal, that door swings both ways. You end up with some Big Ten guys. Talk a little bit about getting those guys, maybe on not the bounce back, but on a, they've gone that place, and now they need to find a different home.
Yeah. We're big into fit. I start every recruiting conversation with fit and the importance of fit for our program. I'm not into fitting a round peg through a square hole. I don't think that would do us any good, and I don't think that would do a young man any good either. So, as a result, our assistant coaches have to be part-time FBI agents. They've got to be investigative reporters here and find out everything there is to know about these young men. And everyone has a story. So we do our absolute best on the front end to see and figure out in the spring, okay, number one, can he play? Number two, does he help us or fit a need that we have? And then number three, and certainly not less important, but number three, is this a good fit, for him, what he's looking for and what we need? Because if what he's looking for doesn't match what we can offer him, again, that can become a really potentially toxic situation. I'll be brutally honest and truthful through the recruiting process, good, bad, or indifferent.
You've mentioned your coaching staff a couple of times, and you have a high level coaching staff. Talk about your coaches.
Yeah, we do. I'm blessed. I'll start off with Rob Judson. He's the vet.
Star.
He's a star, and I've been blessed for a lot of reasons to have him as part of our program. He's been a head coach before, and that certainly helped me at times. But the leadership that he has, the experience that he has, I couldn't have hired a guy that has more connections or is more experienced than Rob Judson, or is more well respected.
Mm-hmm.
He's a gentleman, and every person loves Rob Judson that has met him and that knows him. Jason Slay is an addition that we made in this off season from South Florida, University of South Florida, and I don't think we could have found a better fit for what our program's all about and what we need. He's upbeat, he's positive, he's energetic, he's very genuine and authentic. He's a passionate, wonderful fit for our program. And then Andrew Dockich, well documented my feelings for him. He was my first call, when I got the job, and he was at Elon University, but one of the very few athletes in life that has competed collegiately at Michigan and Ohio State. And I got a chance to coach him. And then he was on our staff at Ohio State as a grad assistant. I love Doc. Think he's a rising star, and as is Jason Slay. But I think Doc, I think the world of him, and he's got great basketball acumen. And then I want to mention our support staff too: Mike Mastriani, Tyler Hicks, and Jack Betts. Three guys that I knew very well from Ohio State. All three are extremely hard workers. They're grinders. They're former managers at Ohio State. And as I'm building the program, I want guys that are going to work and make a difference and make an impact. All three of them. They're the engines of our program, and I love my staff. I've really tried to put my neck out there and say that because I'm very blessed, and we're fortunate to have them.
Before I let you go, it's October 17th, so everybody is optimistic, and you've added a lot of new pieces. And on October 17th, all of them are going to be great. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
we've read their resumes and all of that, but just talk about a few of the guys, because you brought in some Big Ten guys. You've got some very high level high school guys in terms of what I can read on website, but just talk about some of your new guys.
Yeah, sure. So, our four transfers, we talked about Miles Foster. Miles is going to be, he's going to be very impactful. He answers the bell for us in terms of physicality and paint presence. He really does. And that was a need for us. Brandon Lieb addresses the need of motor and length and versatility. We needed length on our team. We needed versatility, and I love mobile bigs. I love him. He is that. He's got a chip on his shoulder. I think his best days are ahead of him, and he's played in a program where I know he's been coached hard and he's been coached well for 3 years. That's an advantage. Then you got Dalton Banks from the conference, and Dalton is a guy that we got to see on film. When you're in league, I don't think people understand how much you're watching league film. We're playing 21 games. We played 21 league games last year, and we're watching 5 to 10 games on every single opponent. So you see these guys over and over and over. We love Dalton Banks, and when he went into the portal, we were united in our office. Saying, man, we got to go chase this guy. So tremendous young man, and it's going to be a great addition. And then last but not least, in terms of the transfers, Jordan Davis, a guy that's been in a highly successful program. He's played 1,000 minutes at University of Wisconsin, and he understands what it takes. He's been in a very disciplined program. He values possessions. He was of all high major players that played 20 minutes or more last year, Jordan Davis was number one in the country in turnovers per minute in terms of least. The least. And if you saw us play last year, you understand how important that is for us and to my belief system. And then our three freshmen, Chase Walker, Columbus, Ohio, 6'9", 300 pounds, tremendous future. I'll just leave it at that because I sort of want him to sneak up on people. He doesn't get the acclaim that some of the other guys do. I got high belief in him, and we love Chase Walker. Johnny Kinzinger, Mr. Basketball in the state of Wisconsin, the first Mr. Basketball that Illinois State's had in 31 years. We're really excited about him. And then Ty Pence, Central Illinois, St. Joseph Ogden High School, 2,000-point scorer in high school, tremendous family, deep roots at Illinois State University, and all three are guys that fit us. So couldn't be more excited, and I'm anxious to get out there and kind of see what we got. Yeah, you too. Thank you, Harry.
That's Ryan Pedon. He's the head coach of the Illinois State Redbirds. They're going to be a lot better this year than they were a year ago. We look forward to seeing all that they're going to accomplish. We'll pause for a minute, see who's next here on the live coverage of the Missouri Valley Conference Men's Media Day here in downtown St. Louis.